What's going on, Blurs, nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the Sensei of the Syndicate, here with you with another special edition of With the BS, where we just are kicking and talking it. And today, man, I got my boy, the Husky Hokage himself, 1/3 of the Things People Don't Say podcast, and 1/2 of the Victory Road to Gaming podcast here with us. And we're going to talk a little bit of quirks. We're going to talk a little My Hero today. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to talk about My Hero, man.
Man, so you got some chances to finally catch up, because it's been you said you had a little bit of a minute, right?
Yeah, so I've been reading the manga, so I'm ahead in the manga. So I decided, like, since you watched the anime, I was like, you know what? Let me go and watch, see how it looks in anime form, man. And it is, I'm loving this season. It's picked up a lot, and I know there was a lot of people's gripes about it, that it had slowed down and it wasn't transitioning well. This season 6, what's going on right now?
Bro, hey, I was like, my bad, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have griped about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, man, because like I know in the other couple seasons, like they were doing stuff where it was something simple, or like they were still in school. So then after that, they would be like, hey, let's study, let's have these practice exams. And it's like, okay, and like it felt almost to, you know how with Bleach they kept fighting themselves, or like they would have a version of themselves, and it felt like a filler. And like I think me personally, I got some of that PTSD. I was like, don't you do this to me, My Hero, don't you do this, you know what I'm saying? Because like nothing was progressing. But in the 5th season, I know that was more about the villains, and like it gave you backstory, it gave you something, because like at one point you couldn't see where, the group of 4 or 5 villains could go up against like the whole system, that whole government. So he had to get like his little supercharged ability. So, and then also he had to get people to back him. He just had to have bodies too. So
yes.
It came with it this year.
I completely agree. So just kind of jumping in. So, they start off the season with season 6 where they're attacking the I think it's 2 or 3 different compounds. The heroes that basically formed up. One's going at the hospital, the other's going at where the I can't think of their name is, but like the league or whatever it is. And like one of the first things you see, or one of the first like ones is Mirko. R.I.P. to Mirko. Wait, she went so hard. I was like, I knew she was as far as a hero, but seeing her in action and doing that whole whole scene, or whole just fight from her going in trying to take out the doctor and Shigaraki.
Man, and see, here's the thing. So like I knew she was a My Hero character because I didn't read the anime. So now, so like I'm on my time where I'm going to start reading anime or manga some more, just because like what was it? It started with Bleach, because I had read some of Bleach, like, because beforehand for that 1,000-year Blood War arc, I had to I was like, man, they're going too slow, you know what I'm saying? And plus I think I had read to a certain point in the manga where I was still ahead. So then after that I was like, it's cool to see it animated, but I love just knowing the storyline. So that's what I ended up doing, bro. Like I ended up reading that. So now I think I'm gonna be on my kick of reading it for My Hero too. So I'm excited about it, man.
So like I said, I'm ahead in the manga, and like I said, reading it in the manga is dope. Like you said, kind of want to know the storyline, want to see where everything's going. So that's one of the reasons I started reading it. And then I was like, and everybody's telling, like, I heard it from you. I think the Dub told me how good it's gotten in the actual anime, because Dub don't like to read it. He won't read the manga, even though, man, I was like, you gotta check the manga. Like, no, I won't wait to watch it. Okay, all right. So we'll I was like, he's been telling me how good it is. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead. I'm sitting here not really doing anything but playing the game. So I was like, look, you know what? Let me go ahead and watch this. So I put it on while I was playing the game. I'm pausing the game, looking up. I say, let me just take a second. And man, it's so good. Like, they got the action going. The action is going right. And the fact that, so I know we talked. So season 6 is out. So let's go have, I guess, I'm not really spoilers, but let's go have some little bit, we'll talk about like some of that. So when so you go through the thing when Mirko goes through the thing, she's taking out trying to take out the Nomu or whatever, and she's trying her best to destroy the tube that Shigaraki is in.
Mm-hmm.
But when Shigaraki wakes up,
bruh,
like that's probably one of the, like, I ain't gonna say the baddest, but it's like it was so good with him waking up and then setting off that wave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bruh,
he was like, so now it's almost like the yin and yang, you know what I mean? Because Deku has his all for one powers, and then with the doctor infusing him with all these other powers, it's kind of like he has that same ability, but his isn't latent though.
Yeah, he got one for alls or whatever, the counterpart, because the whatever the original thing, one for all was original, and all for one is whatever the one Deku has came from the one for all or whatever. It's derivative because they're brothers or whatever. It was the big brother and the little brother developed the other power. So that's how it's been passed on or whatever the case may be, man. But it's just Shigaraki wake up with all them power, and then he set off that wave. Oh wait, no, when he first wakes up, and the dude that's I can't think of the dude that was right there by him, but the dude that was right there by him, like, oh shit, like he he wanted to yell for help or whatever. Is nah, bro. That's right then and there.
And then it was even worse because, like, at first you thought that they stopped him, and then after that you was like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And then after that, like, just that little spark, that's all it took, to start the fire.
And see, and I think with him and what caused him to do it was, I think he destroyed that thing, and that's what caused the set off the spark. He destroyed that little whatever it was. He destroyed something. It
was like a little memory box in the side, and it lit up, and he was like, "Oh, and it came from a good place because he was like, "Listen, I've seen horror movies. I'm not gonna let him go ahead and you know what I mean, have a backup drive, no nothing, no iCloud, no nothing." And next thing you know, it was like, "Oh, okay, well that changed everything."
Man, that changed it, like literally changed everything. That moved the thing, set off the spark, woke Shigaraki up, and destruction ensued. So go ahead, you had to.
No, bro, I'm just with you on that one. It just destruction
ensued. Yes. So I did want to ask. So watching, I guess up to season 5 and watching getting started. So they killed, basically Hawks killed twice or whatever. Did you feel some type of way about that?
Yeah, man, like a little bit, because like twice just felt like, and I know Hawks had to try to do what he could in that situation, you know what I mean? Like, but like Hawks just wanted, he was loyal, bro. That was the only thing, that was the only part. He was like, when the heroes, when everybody else turned their back on me, these people, stay with me. They rock with me. So then after that, I was like, cool, you can't fault that. And so then next thing you know what I mean? He was just loyal, and he was like, I'm not going to give up. He's like, I messed up a couple of times. And I think, like, I can relate to that where, you messed up and your friends had your back, and he was like, listen, this time I'm not going to fuck up. Like, I'm just going to come with it. Like, damn the consequences. And like, you had to respect twice for it. You know what I mean? But it was tough because all he wanted to do, but he was like one of those silly characters that really don't get shine, but then he had that one moment to shine, and he tried to step up and show that he could be that dude.
Yeah, and that's basically like what I was feeling as well. Like, just watching him, like, I can't really fault him for being who he is or whatever the case may be, because like I said, he's just loyal. He's like, the people that stuck by him and was there for him, like, you know what, I'm gonna ride with these folks regardless of whatever the case may be. But I understand his reason. I understand not his reason, but I understood where he was coming from. You know what I'm saying, being loyal and stuff like that.
So before you go on, I want to say that here at the Blerd Syndicate, we got actually some merchandise even for My Hero Academia, and it's not just for the fellas. We actually have stuff for the ladies. So we also have this Miracle weekend bag. So then after that, you can be able to take it wherever you want to, let your nerdum, your blerdum show out, and have people enjoy that as well. So just go to theblerdsyndicate.com and you can use promo code with the BS, all capitals, and be able to save 20% off. So just wanted to put that out there real quick because we got a lot of them. And little secret, we just redesigned the website, so it's even better. So so we trying to do a little something around here.
Go get y'all a bag, man. There'll be some y'all can take to the cons. It's about to be con season coming up, man.
Exactly. Not only that, but then like everybody's gonna start getting out there a little bit more. The weekends, everything like that. Just have that bag with you. That's a carry-on bag.
Exactly. Carry-on bag, and make a nice beach bag, whatever. You take it anywhere. Take it anywhere.
So you were saying, good sir.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. So after move past that part, and I'm trying to think exactly. So the fighting, they have the no moves coming at them, but when everyone basically kind of convenes to help fight Shigaraki, I love it.
Man, he came with it. Man, he was not playing. Everybody got these hands.
Right, everybody, and see, there was I love like in the beginning of the fight when they're starting the fight, when Deku and kind of Bakugo starts fighting or help fight, and they're like, he going after Mr. Aizawa, he going after Eraserhead, and he was like, and the way they were like he's been our teacher, he protected us, and they was like, you ain't gonna do this to him, we gonna make sure we protect. Like they were going hard for their teacher, man. I love it because Eraserhead is a cool dude or whatever.
Yeah, they told him to get away, and they was like, with all due respect, Mr. Eraserhead, fuck that. He got these hands coming today. he got these hands coming today. So, man, it was really cool because he was just like, they were just like, listen, like we ain't no kids no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like we got these heroes licensed for a reason, and so therefore, like we gonna stand here with everybody else. And it was dope to see that, man. There's a lot of great scenes and things that go along with that throughout this whole season, actually. So
it is a lot of great scenes, a lot of good moments. When you see is it Tomaru when he goes and saves Hawks from Dabi, like, you know what I'm saying, and true enough, Dabi tried to kind of throw him off. It was like, it messed with his head. It was like, you see, he killed twice, and all Twice was trying to do was protect his friends. And those heroes are not as good as people think they are. And it's a tone and statement. It kind of carries over through the rest of this, the rest of what's going on as far as that. Even in the manga, like one of the latest mangas, that kind of gets brought up again or whatever. But and Tomo was like, he's sitting there like I'm still going. I came from. I don't care about that. I came from my mentor. This is my mentor. I came from him. I'm about to get him, whatever the case may be. And he thought about it. Like when he was fleeing away, you can see he said like he even said it. Whatever you did, Hawks I'm pretty sure was justified. You got to survive or whatever the case may be. So
yeah, and I think to a certain extent, like this has started to play into where like the gray area as far as that's concerned, because it's not necessarily just based off of okay, this is right or wrong, because like there's a bunch of scenes and there's a bunch of things that the heroes do, there's a bunch of things that even the villains do that are not just necessarily just black and white, bad or good, and Twice was definitely an epitome of that, because he didn't care about what was going on big picture wise. He just concerned about his friends, and like that's not what a villain does, or that's what stereotypically they're saying, hey, that's not what a villain does. A villain just is concerned about what they want and nothing else.
And I say it takes like going forward, but like it's actually kind of been underlined through the whole series somewhat, where you see like from the hero killer Stain to like what Shigaraki then was doing in the beginning, like the League of Villains or whatever. Like they wasn't necessarily they did want to take down the heroes or whatever, but it's like they had belief that the heroes weren't their belief is that the heroes aren't as good as they seem to be, or they lead on to be, or whatever the case may be. So,
and then I forget the guy from like season 4, the one that used to that developed the bullets. I forget his name.
You talking about Overhaul?
Yeah, Overhaul. And then when he took, because Shigaraki was like, like that's how there is that loyalty, because when he took what was his name, the guy with that throws the marbles and stuff, when he took his hand, and he was like, "Oh, Overhaul, you remember how you messed with my boy's hand? Let me go ahead and get that one back." You know what I'm saying? Like, because we didn't forget about that. Like, there's a loyalty within that small group that you know what I mean. They care about one another, and like in one way or another, I feel like they've been, you know, misused or mistreated by society altogether, and that's what makes it kind of brings them together.
Yeah, see, like and I completely agree. It's like, and the deeper or the more this goes on, you kind of see you're gonna start seeing that, like as it goes on, especially in the manga, like you'll start seeing where some of the heroes, like, well, I ain't gonna go into all detail because it's in the manga, but like some of the heroes start understanding, or some of the newer heroes, I put it like that, start understanding that mind frame of like it's a gray area there. Like it's a real, like it's, you know, it ain't just good, it ain't just evil. It's a gray area, and a lot of people fit in that gray area. So I know your boy came back.
Fucking a million, man. Bro, when he came back, I couldn't stop smiling. Like my wife, she's not caught up on My Hero yet. So when I see somebody come, like I saw the cape, I saw like the flash of it, and I was like, yeah, that's my boy. He came on back. And so then, man, he came back and he was still had that smile, had that like, hey, we gonna do this shit. But man, like when I tell you he came back, and then you know, old girl was like she was working on the lizards and everything and getting the tails, and they were like, oh, well, what are you doing? You know, he was like, hey, I don't mean to bother you about this, but hey, if you working on these lizards, you might as well work on your nigga right here. Yeah. And so then after that, they were just like, oh, well, that's the reason why we was doing it, bro. Come on, get on this train. Yeah, so man. Got his powers back, but man, I want to talk about Shigaraki one more time. Shigaraki beat up everybody. I remember he beat up the Dragon Girl. He beat up Gran Torino. He beat the shit out. Man, he beat the shit out of Gran Torino. He did. And then, but it was his fault. Like, but he had some get back, because you know what I'm saying. Gran Torino was the one that told his grandmother, "Hey, you need to leave your family," and that's what kind of started all his stuff from there. And that's that gray area that we were talking about. You know what I mean? Because it's not heroic to leave your family. That's more villainous than anything else. So it's all kind of based off a point of view. So, you know, if you see these kinds of things, like you're like, if you just look at it and take certain aspects of what a person did, you could be like, well, that'd be more of a villain move. You know what I'm saying? Versus doing anything else.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's kind of the undertone of the series, where it's like everything ain't just black and white. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you ain't just automatically evil. You ain't just automatically good. Like, cause just cause you good, you go do, you know, some decisions or some things you do may be on the evil side of it. Or I'll say it's like it's a big gray area, and it's like everybody, once you know, everybody starts falling in that gray, because you make mistakes, you do things you shouldn't do or shouldn't have done, or whatever the case may be, for whatever the cause you believe, for whatever your belief is or your cause is. Like, so I believe this is right, and I believe these are they're doing such and such, so I'm doing this, not realizing, hey, this might be wrong, or this might be considered, if like I said, from someone else's point of view, this might be considered evil or bad, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I say it's a big gray area, man. But I'm with you. I knew it was. I'm gonna put it like, I knew it was coming. I knew he was gonna show up sometime, because you know they that's one reason they saved Eri, to have for him to be, you know, for her, since she can do that. And when he showed up, where I was like, I'm watching it and reading it. So I'm reading it, I was like, let's go. And I'm same thing. Watching it, I was like, yes. I knew it was coming, but it's like it's like a feel good moment, especially everything that's going on right then, like I said, or kind of that thing where like Shigaraki is whooping ass, and it's like it's complete, like the power upgrade they give Shigaraki, like him getting off on One for All's powers and the stuff he can do, like because one thing they were doing, like when erase all his stuff, and he was still beat down. He still had this strength, like All Might. Bruh,
he was still beating ass, bro. He ain't had no powers. He was just straight strength. Like I bet, man, he was like he was in the gym. He was on that good old stuff.
He was on the roids.
Yeah. So then, yeah, man, that was crazy. The other part that was really crazy too was, the Blue Genius came back.
Yes.
And so then, like, you got to see other people come back. I
know a lot of people thought he was dead, but yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I want to talk about as well is Deku, because Deku had some fighting. He had some dog in him this time. Like he wasn't with that oh, I'm gonna cry and stuff like that. No. Mm-mm. He was done with the tears, bro.
And Deku gets more and more, like I said. And so with his, because he listened. I think Shigaraki mentioned when he was chasing Deku in the beginning. He mentioned and said I can use all the abilities that the previous user has had, or whatever the case may be. Deku's gonna start, like, I know you mentioned, when we were talking about it in the messages, you were saying how he has like the black whip that kind of remind you of Spider-Man, where he was swinging.
Bro, he was straight being Spider-Man. I'm gonna be honest with you, because he was like, he had the black whip, and then after that, at the end they said they gave him danger sense. I was like, so you gonna give him spider sense and webs already? And I was like, okay, all right. I mean, we know where you're drawing it from, and I'm cool, because like you got to borrow. You know what I mean? Like there's not like there's original. The one thing I like about My Hero Academia is like they take the idea of mutants and put them in an anime, but the thing is they don't use the same like skills or mutants like powers that, like, say for instance X-Men would have. So it's really, really cool that they have that and they just are able to use it, because I would never think about having somebody just be able to control fabric, because he was choking niggas out with t-shirts.
That, and like it's some other, like one of Endeavor sidekicks, his name is Keto, and he controls trajectory. He can like change the trajectory or whatever. Like when I'm watching it, he made like a little band with some rope, whatever, and he Endeavor kind of flew through it, and he was automatically able to go up, like without having what we call it, super speed, like stuff like that. Like who thinks of these quirks? So
especially the little weirdo with the balls, like you wouldn't think that would be like, you wouldn't think that would be a good quirk, or even like there was a bunch of other ones that were just like, that just are small little quirks that you'd be like, oh, well, this would be weird to have. Like, this definitely wouldn't be able to be something in X-Men. You know what I mean? Because you would have just got laughed off. But like the way that they have that, and the intelligence that they use to try to be able to make it work is definitely something that I give kudos for.
Yes, completely agree, man. Because I think some of the kids in the class 1B. Like the girl that has like the mushrooms, where like if you breathe in and stuff, your mushrooms pop up over your body for a certain amount, stuff, it's just crazy stuff like that. But I completely agree. But it's, I mean, this season, part one, I know it's part one of season 6. Like, and then you see, the big reveal kind of with Dobby revealing who he is, whatever. So that
that one wasn't a surprise to me, because you know what I mean. But like it was good to finally just have it official. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree. I've been speculating since he's been introduced. Like the story of him showing up, and then the story of Shoto's older, basically another his older brother that had the fire ability, and like all of a sudden he was gone or whatever. So it was good to kind of get an official saying this is Endeavor's child or whatever the case may be. But it's I'm really enjoying this, man. I can't wait. I know the second part starts this month sometime. So
yeah,
but I'm like I said, I want to see where they go get to in season 6 or whatever. How much further in the manga they're gonna get to. I know the book ended. The last volume ended, and it's going to. I think the next volume drops either this month or next month. But I know the writer of My Hero was having some issues. So I think he got hospitalized sometime last year, or the end of like in December here, just a few weeks ago or whatever. So hopefully everything's all right. So he can, hopefully everything's all right. He's able to finish the volume. Because I think, because he was near. This is nearing the end. We probably got maybe. I'm not sure how many more volumes we got, but I know he said this is like the final arc. He's getting towards that final arc. So it's not gonna be too much longer as far as the series going. But yeah, I just want to get in, kind of chop it up, man, with My Hero, bro. Like it's gotten good. If you're not watching My Hero, I understand the slowness, the slow build they had. If you're not watching My Hero, man, give it another shot, especially what's going on now.
Yeah, and so it also makes sense though, because like now that I think about it, like in the fights that they have now, like you wouldn't feel that it would be realistic that high school kids would then be able to know how to fight like the way that they do without the training that they have. That's the part that, like, I know it stinks because of the fact that you're like, man, I don't want to see these kids just constantly, train against one another or because honestly they train against one another for half the season, and then the other part was then they had like a little brush in with the League of Villains, and then after that, then it goes to the next season. So then they would train again against one another, and then they would do that from there. Now, the one thing that I would love to see is some of those other high schools. You know what I mean? How we saw when they were trying to get that. I don't know if this is all Japan, they should have all been in there. You know what I'm saying? They should have all been, especially like some of those stronger characters, like the one that was fighting with Shoto.
And the one that controlled the wind. I can't think of his name, but yes, I was looking. I'm like, where's he at? Like in this fight, so I'm not sure if they just didn't include that particular. Because I think I know they were kind of different, a different high school or whatever. But I wasn't sure if it was because they were using like direct line to UA and using only UA's students or whatever, man. But they definitely should have been there. He should have been there at least. Like, dude was like crazy powerful.
And so, so if you had to give me a favorite My Hero character, who is your favorite right now?
My favorite right now, so I'm not gonna say Deku, but because that's I don't use it like it's only like two main protagonists I like, which is like Naruto, but and Deku are like some of the main ones, but I'm gonna go. I like what I'm seeing from Bakugo, and
I was just gonna say, great explosion, murder god, dynamite. But then they had to put respect on his name though, because they got me that one time where like they did that callback to like the first couple episodes in the first season where Deku was like, my body just moved on its own. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking. And when Deku was in trouble, that's who came through. And then the Blue Genius was like, so, now that you have time to mature, I've seen that you want to do this. Let me go ahead and tell me what your real name is. He's like, nigga, it's the Great Explosion, God, murderer. Yeah, murder God, dynamite. That's who I am.
Yeah, man. And that's what I'll say. I love, like, even though Baku is still like, he still acts the same a lot of times, he's matured a lot.
Yes.
And I love his drive, and I love like when they would get ready to go fight or trying to lead, when Deku left to try to lead Shigaraki away from the civilians and stuff like that, and he was kind of seeing in his head, like kind of calculating, so at 30% he can use all for one at 30%, and Blase. He was like, I can keep up with him, and he was like, I gotta keep getting stronger. I'm kind of, you know, he's talking to himself, but like I gotta keep getting stronger because I would not be left behind. I'm like, bruh, like I love that he won't, like, I love his drive, bro, and I love his fight, his, you know, the little attitude that he has. Sometimes it can be a little annoying, but like I've learned to kind of just laugh some of the stuff he did. Like the lady was like, one of the scenes, the lady was offering him a cookie. Like, you want a cookie? He was like, what? Like, he was like, he was mad. She offered him a cookie.
If you don't get your ass over here, like he doesn't have good people skills. Like, that's not going to be him. It's just like Endeavor. Endeavor doesn't have good people skills, but like when it comes to doing the job, he knows how to do that, and he's really good at it. So like that's really, really good. Like, I was like, what's yours?
Or who's your favorite?
I'm really liking, I don't know. Like, I'm really liking Deku right now. Like, he done gave up his tears, bruh. Like, he ain't with the no talk jitsu. He was ready. He was like Shigaraki.
Ready,
like, listen,
throw them hands,
bruh. And like, ain't no talking no more. You know what I mean? Like, so we gonna have to do that. It's either that or Lemillion. Lemillion was, because like when he went on with Overhaul, bruh, he fought and he didn't even have no powers then. He still was giving them the business. Like, that's so either one of those two are definitely gonna be my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. I can, like I said, can definitely see that. Like I said, I don't want to pick Deku because that's normally my guy. So I was like, let me. So you know what? I'm loving what Bakugo is doing. And the fact, like he's like, I'm riding with you. I'm the only one that know about your secret. I'm riding with you. Don't tell them that we going. Let's go. He was right there with him, ready to fight. Like, I love it, bro. Love it.
Yeah, but the best part is, like, he's like, now that I know that you got All Might's power, you better not lose to nobody else. He's like, you don't make no damn sense, bro. If you lose, and like, that's his motivation. And the fact that, like, whenever like Deku gets revved up, he talks cash money shit. Like, he loses that ability to be like, oh, okay, like, I'm going to be sensible. He's like, no, F that. I'm with the BS. So he that's what I love about him, man. And he does not, like, he gets in that point, especially when it's with Bakugo and they was going at it for a little bit. What I'm gonna tell everybody who's listening to this, y'all need to watch My Hero Academia. I understand it starts off a little slow, like, it's not gonna be something that you do, but like, every season kind of builds off of one another. And you see a lot, not only just the main character, but you see all the characters grow in power, strength, and also personality. So you got to be able to just ride with it and understand, like, and it's not that it's slow, like you're not going to get action. It's just that, like, the heavy action is towards the end of the end of the season every time. But that's what's so crazy about the start of this season. They started out on 10s, so like you couldn't really say nothing. So definitely, like, if you go ahead.
I was saying, like you were saying, like, even though, you know, it's a bunch of characters, you know, you got your three main kind of protagonists, your three, you know, Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto. You can kind of throw Shoto in there as well, but like, even their other classmates, they all kind of get a little shine here and there. Like in the beginning of this, like beginning of season 6, where they needed Konohamaru to absorb the electricity or whatever from the dude or whatever the case may be. Like,
Red Riot is one of my favorites too, because Red Riot.
Oh man, yes.
Red Riot came out. He was ready. Like, he got, when old buddy was whooping up on Fat Gum. R.I.P. Well, not R.I.P. But Fat Gum is every big dude's like superpower person. Like, he could just be able to use his power and shrink.
Yes. Like, literally, he when he was leaving the thing, he was like fat taxi mode, and basically stuffed him in his fat so he can run away, so they can run out. Yes. And then all he has to do is just he power, basically he explodes or whatever he does, and he shrinks back down to like a small little guy, whatever, or a small skinny guy.
That is a fat person's dream, bro. Like, you can eat all you want to, and then all of a sudden, in one punch, you can be able to get rid of all the fat that you have. Sign me up. I have a track jacket right now for Fat Gum, just because you got to represent for big guys.
Hey,
because it is big guy season.
Always.
So,
but that. But like I said, I digress. I'm gonna just. I don't want to keep going because we'll be here all day
forever, man.
Yes, yes. So, but that was it, man.
I think I'm gonna wake my wife up just to have her watch My Hero. I know I'm not. I'm smarter than that. I'm smarter than that. I'm smarter than that.
Don't do it. That's a bad.
I'm smarter than that. So yeah, we're gonna. But I'm gonna definitely have them watch. Like, and if you haven't watched it, give it a shot. Like,
yes.
What I say with any anime is give it at least to like 12 episodes so you can be able to get the feel of what a show is about. Like, there's some of them that start later than that start to kind of find their footing. But like, if you give a thing about 12 episodes, and honestly, if you give it 12 episodes if you take out like the entrances and like the recaps, it's only about like 4 or 5 hours that you can be able to find out whether or not you found something that you're interested in or not. So definitely take a look at it. If you guys like X-Men, if you like Naruto, because it feels like a Naruto show, but it feels like it takes place in like now time, and rather than ninja abilities, you're superheroes. So like, if you like anything like those, give this show a shot.
Completely agree.
So for myself and for the Husky Okage, please, we want you to do 2 things. We want you to like, share, and follow, subscribe. That's more than 2 things, but you know what I mean. And then we want you to just do have a great day and have a great new year. So until then, we'll talk to you later. All right.
Peace.